Let's move on to the difference between advisory boards and other engagement programs. We talked about having the right terminology in place. So a useful way of thinking about it is thinking about a continuum where on one hand you have number of contacts. This could be in thousands, this could be in millions, right? So if you are on this side of the graph, voice of the customer programs, you can send a survey to 5 million customers, right? So you're reaching a significant volume of contacts. However, your relationship or the insights that you gain are actually quite limited, right? So what we would urge you to do is to kind of like map out your entire engagement spectrum across your company. How do you touch customers? What do you do in terms of customer touch points and customer engagement and voice of the customer and any customer program? Create a chart like that that would have customer campaigns, events, and then user groups. And then as you go up, you can see that things like executive sponsor programs, advisory boards, executive briefings, they're at the top of the chart. The volume is very low, 10, 20, 30. If you have several boards, 100, 200. It's a very, very small number. However, the depth of relationship and the importance of the relationship is extremely high. Another example here, this one we've done with Iron Mountain, one of our clients. And we're taking the same concept of looking at number of customers, number of contacts that they have. And as you can see, it's concentric circles. It gets smaller and smaller. So this is the intimacy, and this is the reach. So let me populate all of it so you'll be able to see that. So this is taking a holistic look at everything that you do around customer marketing. And then you map it according to the number of contacts that you reach in Let's Connect. It's a web portal where customers can actually log in their feedback or suggestions for improvement or product improvement, customer bulletins, all kind of campaigns. Again, this is in the hundreds of thousands. And then you have all types of different campaigns that are getting into smaller groups of customer communities. You know, different luncheons, after dark. These are customers that are that you need to go after because they are no longer customers of Iron Mountains. And then as you go up to the top, and you're actually reaching the highest reach, if you will, these are the things where you have the advisory board, the law symposiums, the roundtables with executives. So we would encourage you to actually look at it in a holistic way and map out, I don't know if you've done that, but map out the entire customer engagement spectrum across all different channels. And then show your executives where the advisory board fits in.
From your experience, do you find or do you see challenges when various pockets are run from different parts of the organization?
Yes.
And do you recommend that they all fall up to marketing, customer programs, customer success? Where are you finding the most?
That's getting into a political discussion where the power should lie. But we find that most often the best way is customer engagement. Customer engagement that encompasses voice of the customer and customer analytics and competitive intelligence. That's usually the best place. Sometimes it's in sales, sometimes it's product marketing, sometimes it's in strategy. But if you can actually, it's an interesting project, by the way, because you're right. In many companies, different silos are responsible for different campaigns. If you can create a center of excellence around all customer touch points and consolidate it, that would be a good thing. And get one executive sponsor to own all that customer touch points. So if we talk about the difference between some of the different programs, executive briefing, how many can, show of hands, how many have executive briefing programs? Okay, great. So, these are usually limited to a customer at a time, right? They are limited to specific opportunities. The relationship is not continuous in a sense that you have a group of customers that come together. It's focus on one relationship at a time. So obviously it serves a very important purpose. We have several of our boards that are run by executive briefing center professionals. So the advisory board, we actually just spoke, Gavin Nathan from Ignite spoke at the executive briefing center professionals organizations in Washington with one of our clients, Brocade, and talking about how the executive briefing center is part of the advisory board experience, and how do you integrate both of them together. So that's a different story, but this is account specific, the executive briefing center. The advisory board, we talked about it. It's a group of peers that come together, get together, and it's an ongoing commitment, ongoing value to the organization. Customer events, one-off events, focusing on one theme, one direction. People come, people go. It's not the same set of people all the time. Then user groups. I don't think we need to spend too much time on user groups. Obviously, it's more technical in nature, demos, a lot of showing and telling, much larger in scope, different customer campaigns, customer marketing, general events, and then voice of the customer programs, which are mainly, usually there's an annual survey and a lot of online tools to accomplish that. So this is just a way for all of you to take this information, and if you need to actually create a lexicon or terminology within your organization that kind of like specifies, this is a voice of the customer program, this is customer marketing, this is executive briefing, this is an executive sponsorship program, this is account-based marketing, and this is an advisory board. And delineate what are the differences, because I gotta tell you, we've been doing it for a long time. Many times people get confused. They think that an advisory board is a focus group or a glorified user group. So you need to make sure that everyone understands what do you mean when you talk about an advisory board.